Hey everyone, you're watching Ash on Comics. My name's Ash, and it's another In and Out Weekly Comics pull list for Wednesday, January 16th, 2019, third week of the year already. Can you believe it? And let's just get right into it. We got a lot of Marvel number ones this week. Last week there was only 3. And it's funny we talk about only 3 number ones. It used to be you might get 3 number ones a year. That's kind of the realm I come from. Maybe a few more if you count. Miniseries. You might get like 5, 6 number ones a year. With the miniseries, maybe like one brand new, like ongoing title. Marvel does that weekly. And if you consider there's 52 weeks out of the year, just one number one a week makes 52 number ones a year. If you're averaging 4 a week, that's over 200 number one issues per year. Now, they really didn't get into swing of this until over halfway, I think, the year of 28. The whole, what was that project, that whole initiative called, not Rebirth, that was DC's thing. They were doing, geez, dogs, you got to start drinking right now, always when I'm filming. Fresh Start, that was it. Fresh Start. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to bring back all the characters you love. No, it was the smoke and mirrors. Just an excuse to start this new initiative where they're constantly fresh starting. This is what Fresh Start is. This is constantly number one. If you go to the new comics, which I did today, look at the wall, almost every single Marvel comic is number 10 or lower. Because they've just booted everything. It's almost like Marvel Comics came into existence a couple months ago. It's really a joke. But here, this month, or this week, you can get Black Widow number 1. Jump on that because, everyone has been waiting for a Black Widow comic. And that's another thing New Marvel likes to do. They like to take C-list characters. Black Widow wasn't even really a major, Avenger-type character until, the movies. Invaders? What modern comic reader wants Invaders? I don't understand. Man Without Fear, because we got to make a series for Daredevil. We killed Daredevil, but psych, not really. We didn't kill Daredevil. But here's the mini-series about the aftermath of killing Daredevil, who's really not dead. This one gets an asterisk, however, because this is a variant. Apparently, Man Without Fear came out a month ago, I believe. This is a new number 1 variant cover that came out this week. So Marvel's doubling down now. Maybe this is a new thing that they came up with and said, oh, we can recreate number 1s by reprinting with new covers a month later. So I'm not sure if this one really counts or not because I've never seen anyone really do that. Oh, look at that. I forgot to put an L here. Well, nothing matters in Marvel, so why should their spelling name matter? Marvel Comics Presents number 1. So here's a new series I didn't know was coming out, but I pretty much expect everything that's in the Marvel archives. There's the editors there are probably scrambling through to be like, what can we reboot? So Marvel Comics Presents, I'm sure Marvel Fanfare will be back. I'm pretty sure they're going to reboot New Universe. That's a bunch of number 1s that they can do. And if they fail, so what? It's not like rebooting the New Universe would be a bad idea for Marvel because they reboot failed series like Iceman and the Wasp. They don't care. They don't care. So why not? Why not reboot New Universe? Marvel Tales, another one. It's rebooting. But this one is Venom. Marvel Tales Venom. It's funny, last week there was a new number 1, Venom number 1, and this week there's a new Venom number 1. Pretty soon we'll just have, 6 or 7 Venom titles because it's one of the few books that sells at Marvel. So let's just flood the market with that and kill the IP. And speaking of killing the IP, which if you're not familiar with what Disney's doing right now with their IP and killing Star Wars, and no, I'm not talking about Last Jedi. I'm talking about just being completely hateful to their fandom. They stole the fan film out from Star Wars Theory. There's a couple videos. I think I might make a video on it, but Ethan did a really good one. Ethan Van Sciver, that is, Comics Artist Pro Secrets. It's just terrible when you see what Disney did to this guy that made this Star Wars Vader Vader film. I'm going to do more about it. But anyways, Star Wars Age of Republic Special #1. Now, if you may know, they've been doing these Age of Republic books. I don't know why it's Age of the Republic. I don't know why it's weird. But apparently the other ones weren't special. This one is Age of Republic Special #1. So make sure you get all these guys. These are going to be huge. You're going to be able to put your kids through college. And make sure you get all the variant covers of all these. I don't care how much it costs. Because you know the SJWs aren't buying these. They're pirating them. It's you that are subsidizing the industry. Hashtag walk away from Marvel. All right, so let's get off with the unboxing. In true Marvel fashion, we care more about food here than comics, just like Marvel. So every week I unbox my lunch. Look at this. Oh, perfect. So perfect. Oh, can't see the lettuce though. That's not perfect. Almost perfect. All right. Now I'm not going to wait like I normally do. I'm going to use the magic of editing. I thought, why am I sitting here letting my burger getting cold? That just seems kind of silly, right? So I got my comics waiting, got my iPad, got my drink, got my burger. I'm going to splice this, and it'll be instantaneous to you. You don't care.
Popular. He's on issue 10, and it's still at 100,000. That is a fantastic success because it's presented as what people want. They want basically minimal politics, and if you do have politics, have it be pretty centrist. Concentrate on the character we like, Peter. Concentrate on action. Give us back Mary Jane. This is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 1. And
all right, you got me. Finished my drink, finished my burger. I was watching Zach videos, and I can kind of zone out to those. It's nice to know that he makes really professional cuts like I do in the middle of his videos. So if that's Zach quality, it's good enough for Zach, it's good enough for me. Here's my comics. Here's my receipt. Had a SJW yesterday accusing me, like normal, about every day happens, that I don't read comics. Of course, you know, we don't. When we post that they don't read comics, they can't defend themselves. They just argue back, or they go on Barnes and Noble and post a screenshot of one of the shelves. There's a big old deal on that, and then of course they attack us, not realizing people like myself actually post a video week after week of all the comics I buy. Here's a receipt. But it's getting expensive. I win bats. Anyways, my comics. This week, what do I got? Electric Warriors #3, $3.99. This is a fun comic. I'm enjoying it, so I'm going to keep buying it. I did not know it was a miniseries when I started. I probably wouldn't have bought it just because miniseries are a good way to have your pull list get out of control as far as price. Because you're like, oh, well, I don't have to make a commitment. I'll just start picking it up. And the next thing you know, you've got 6 miniseries that you didn't plan on buying. And, you know, if someone had said this is going to be an ongoing, I'd be like, no. This is kind of reverse. I do enjoy it, however. It's not a knock. And if you're not on my budget, you don't have to worry about that. I got Red Hood Edgelord #30. That's what they should be calling this book. It's a pretty sick cover. I really think this book is missing the boat with the whole Outlaws. I don't even think they should call this Red Hood. It should have just been called Outlaws, and they should have kept Artemis, Bizarro, and Red Hood. It was a really cool combination. And, yeah. Now we just have, I don't know, it's sort of like DC's version of the Punisher, but not, because he uses guns but doesn't kill. Here we go. Speaking of miniseries you get caught up in, $4.99. Jeez. Thanks, Scott. I always get Scott and Zach. My brain twists the names. Batman Who Laughs #2. Sick, Dark, and Edgy, of course. That's what sells books. I had to get it. I'm a sucker. And speaking of sucker, Hawkman #8. Probably one of the best ongoing series in comics right now. To my surprise, used to be a big Hawkman is a joke type of person. I was a DC, not a DC bigot, but DC, I was prejudiced against DC. Very excited about this book, however, because if I could show you the real cover, I would show you why I'm excited. So, a week ago, a couple days ago, actually, I was talking with Sergeant Bats. Speaking of Sergeant Bats, we got a show tonight, the Ash and Bats Show. Come to see our live stream. I think we're both actually better together than we are separate, so check us out. Give us your support if you can. It's 11 p.m. tonight if you're watching this on Wednesday, the 16th. Sorry for zacking out on you for a sec. So Bats educated me a little bit on Nightwing, who I don't really like. And he told me the story about how Nightwing is actually a Kryptonian hero back from the days when Krypton was still around. And the legend of that character was passed down to him from Superman, yada, yada, yada. So when Nightwing left from Robin, he took that identity and said, well, I'll be the Nightwing for Earth. And I was like, wow, that's really freaking cool backstory. Too bad it's not really implemented in the comics. And he's just basically Robin in a Nightwing suit. I would like to see more about this Nightwing character. Well, lo and behold, the new issue of Hawkman has Hawkman doing the classic Superman trope, pulling apart his shirt, see the big S. And it's actually Nightwing. So we know that Carter Hall is a man of many pasts. He reincarnates. So is he once upon a time Nightwing? I'm excited to know what's going on here. That DC has got something, like, I want to know more about this story. When Bats told me, I was like, oh, and then right after he tells me that, I'm like, oh, now Hawkman could be going down that road. Let's cross our fingers. I can't cross my finger. How sad is that? I can't cross my fingers. Speaking of sad, oh God. Superman number 7. I wasn't going to originally get Superman number 7. I was going to stop after 6. But I honestly can't tell if that's the end of the story arc, because Bendis just doesn't end things. So I don't know where the trade is going to end. Anyways, the YouTubers that get their stuff a little early and start posting their stuff Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning, I have been seeing some thumbnails about people being really pissed off about this book. And so now I'm like, oh, geez, I got to get it. I mean, if you're pissed off after knowing what the ending of the last book was, you knew what to expect, and it still pissed you off, this must be terrible. I don't know if it's terribly written, but I mean, just terrible as far as what the plot is happening in the story. So it's like a train wreck. I figure, I guess I'll buy it because my views are the best on the Bendis Superman books. So for my videos, it helps. And I do like Superman, genuinely. Was probably my favorite DC character. So even though it's being done poorly, I don't know. It's a mix. And then I've got this train wreck thing. I just can't look away. So I guess I'll be a part of it. But speaking of something I don't have to worry about being a part of, and great Superman days gone by, the former writer of Superman, Peter Tomasi, who did an excellent job, is doing arguably even a better job on Detective Comics. This series that he's starting is so good. The first issue started off with a bang, which sometimes can be tough. I usually just, tell people give a run of, a few issues before you make a judgment, because that first issue or two to set things up sometimes is lackluster. Sometimes you don't understand the value of it until you get the payoff. But nope, Tomasi gave you payoff right away, and then the next issue was even better. It was gut-wrenching, made me tear up, made me feel emotion, which is very difficult to do for comics. I hope this book stays in that fashion. The other cover is pretty ugly in my opinion. This cover is beautiful. If you are not on the Detective Comics bandwagon, you need to be. This is the best comic ongoing series being done by the big two. In my opinion, for sure. This is great stuff. I can't. I'll just save everything else for the reviews. I got Justice League Dark number 7. I'm behind on my Justice Leagues, but I just keep buying them because I'm a sucker. I got Flash number 62. This is for my pseudo niece, who I always talk about. She likes Flash, so I just keep buying her the books because it's kind of fun to buy comics for kids, like to have that innocence, that they're not jaded like us. They don't have to worry about things like Comicsgate or politics in comics. They just enjoy comics for the raw, nature of comic books. Firefly number 3. Whoo boy! So I'm behind on Firefly. The story of this book is I was not actually going to buy this book. I was going to buy Alien 3 that came out the same week. And I was all excited because I'm a huge Aliens fan, mostly because I'm a huge James Cameron fan, but Aliens is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's fantastic. So when Alien 3 came out, I can distinctly remember just being like off the wall, super just hyped up for this movie. I've been seeing the trailers and never been more let down from a movie sequel in my entire life. That includes the prequels from Star Wars. That includes the Disney Star Wars. And Star Wars is my favorite films, the original trilogy. So Alien 3 is utter garbage. It's one of the worst films ever made. I could do a clinic on how not to do films based on that. But Dark Horse got the original script from William Gibson of Neuromancer fame, among other books. Legendary sci-fi author. He did an original script for Alien 3 that was not actually used. They got the script and are now doing the comic book adaptation of the Alien 3 that could have been. So I was all excited. And then I saw Tamara Bonvillain listed on there. And I have this kind of policy that I don't want to buy comics when you put SJWs on there that speak trash about the customers, of which she does all the time. She's a terrible person. So I didn't want to buy the books. I mean, I kind of did. I was like, she's just a colorist. Like, whatever. So I was like, saw Firefly on the shelf. And I was like, you know what? I love Firefly. I'm going to give it a chance. Looked decent. But I still haven't read Firefly. So now I'm in issue 3's coming out. And I didn't expect it today. And I was like, Firefly 3's out. I don't even know if this is any good. I mean, I've read Greg Pak's stuff before. Did Planet Hulk. I love. I've heard good things. I need to read this series to make sure I'm not just buying a crap book. Hopefully I'm not. I got to get on these right away. But speaking of Alien 3, so here's my Comixology page. I've recently bought things, and you'll see I've got issues 1 and 2 because they're 99 cents right now. So instead of paying $8 for these 2 books, I paid $2 for these 2 books. So I'll eventually get these, but I'm going to get them on the cheap. Thanks. Dark Horse, you could have got my $4, but you only got $1 out of me because of that person. Don't hire social justice warriors that trash fans publicly. All right, well, that is my pull list for this week. It is a little bit longer than normal, but not terribly long, I hope, for you. It's quite a few books. What do you think is going to be the best? This is going to be the best. This is going to be the best, but right here, that's a good boy. That's a good one. And then, maybe I could be shocked with this bad boy. I don't know. What's going to be the worst? Without a doubt, right here, I put all my money on this. But it could be Firefly. I don't know. I don't know anything about that one. So, but come on. Come on. Thanks for watching. Oh, I almost forgot. Pick this up at the comic book store. Isola Prologue. It's free. I got 2 copies of it. I thought this was going to just be like a little pamphlet, I buy this on Comixology, right? So I picked the comics up for cheap. In case you don't know, if you like image books or you're curious about picking up image books, but you don't really want to spend the $4, you don't care about owning physical copies, you're not like a collector, you're a reader, almost every single image book goes half price 2 to 4 weeks after it's out. So there's a section in Comixology called Recently Reduced Comics. And you'll see these, and that's how I got Isola, because they were recently reduced, and there was a half price Image Comic sale, so I got them for 99 cents. I thought the book looked, the art looked appealing. I love the style. It's sort of an East meets West hybrid, manga, a little bit of influence, but Western comic book style. Kind of reminds me in that fashion of like Last Airbender. The art in the actual other comics, I think, is actually better than this. But you can get a little bit of a taste of what it's like. It's a little fantasy story. You can see these actually was originally serialized. This takes place before Isola #1. So if you're at your local comic book store and they have like the freebie stuff, maybe pick this up. And check out, there's some good Image Comics out there. Another good one I really recommend is Oblivion Song. You can get the first trade paperback right now for $5 it covers the first 6 issues. And then, like I said, 2 to 4 weeks after, I don't know the exact time, they go half price, so it's $1.99 to follow it. You don't have to spend the $3.99, so you can save money that way. Anyways, just wanted to add that. I forgot that I picked this up. All right, happy new comic book day.